What up? What up? What up, world? I'm Classic Mike, and this is Get Right Fantasy Network. This is our Week 16 special Christmas Eve Saturday morning show. Uh, I'm going to be answering your start sit questions throughout the show, so make sure you guys throw them in the chat when you have them. We're going to go over actives and inactives at 11:30, so in about an hour from now. Decided to come on about an hour early, or well, half hour earlier than normal, just so that we can break down some of the big storylines around the league, which we didn't get to do yesterday. So we really do appreciate everybody sticking in. This time of year, Christmas, it's just how it goes. Families, all that things are important. We need to worry about that first. So, um, just had a lot going on, but I didn't want to miss this particular show. So I will be here answering your questions all morning until about around 12 o'clock. Then I got family stuff to do. We're also, like I said, we're going to go over news and notes. We're going to do some actives and inactives at 11:30. And then, I usually do DFS picks. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to go through and break them down. We can, if people are interested. If you have questions about DFS or, anything like that, we can, talk about that a little bit later in the show. Like I said, I'm going to do some breakdown of games, just mostly injury reports of, who's in, who's out, who you have to really worry about. It's mostly news and notes and all that fun stuff, just so you guys have a full breakdown of what's going on. It will be a really quick recap, mostly just, what's going on in the league. The biggest stuff, the biggest news from overnight was, the Giants, there were a lot of players in the Mall of America. Apparently, there was a really bad mall shooting, which is sad. And, I'm sorry for all those out in Minnesota that are dealing with that currently with loved ones and all that this time of year. Our prayers and all our thoughts are out with them. Glad that all the Giants players and all them that were in the Mall of America are currently out. Not currently out of the mall, and everyone is safe back home or back in the the hotel or wherever they are. Some other news and notes just to kind of go through it. Kenneth Walker has been questionable. He's expected to play today. Noah Fant as well for the Seattle Seahawks. For the Vikings, Eric Kendricks, he was questionable to play with a hip. He will play today. Cam Dantzler will not play today, which is a huge hit to their secondary, which is another reason why. Jonathan Smith, what up, my friend, goes playing Slayton DFS. So am I, my friend. So am I. Albert goes, what's up, Mike? What's going on, man? Glad to have everybody here. Ick, we getting close to re-raffling that jersey. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We like I said, all of us have been having a little bit of a crazy week, and we just want to make sure we give Craig a chance to be able to get to us. So don't worry, we might re-raffle. It's up to. I'm leaving that up to Ant. Cowboys, looks like Micah Parsons was questionable. He's looking like he should be playing. He's been just dealing with an illness. Trayvon Diggs, same thing. Both look like they're going to play today, which is kind of significant. So John asks a really good question. Do you like Kenneth Walker or Mixon today? I feel like even with the tough New England defense, I still like the floor with Mixon. I agree. One's healthy, one's not. One's coming in a little banged up. He had a rough go last week. I know he has a good matchup against Seattle, against Kansas City, who, the implied game, the implied total is 50.5 for, the over under is 50.5. So for that particular Seahawks and Chiefs game, I like Mixon a lot. But their game is 41.5. It's going to be cold. Anywhere that it's outside is going to be cold. So I like either running back. And that's kind of one of the biggest stories today is the weather. Anywhere that there's an outside game, it is below freezing or at that point. So below 32 degrees with wind chill, making it, at the teens or single digits or minus whatever. So it's very significant. I do like Mixon's floor, but it's hard to say, man, because Kenneth Walker, is banged up. He's got people behind him. All Mixon has is Samaje Perine behind him. I think Mixon is probably the better play. I have Mixon ranked at 13, while I have Kenneth Walker at 18 at the moment. So I think I'm going to go with Mixon in that. It's a very tough matchup. New England is probably one of the better teams against the run. They have only let up 3 running backs to, top 24 games, so yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Mixon here. Warrior, what's going on, Warrior Loft? He says pick 2, Chubbs, Dobbins, or Hopkins. I'm going to go with Chubbs and Dobbins. I don't trust DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care what stats you look at. Dave Klug put out a nice little thing about, who DeAndre Hopkins has had as a quarterback and how he's performed. And I think it was like 18.9 points or something like that per game with those people. With just those people and not like a top quarterback like Kyler. So as much as I would love to trust that, if it's in my fantasy playoffs, I'd rather have Chubb, who I know they're going to run the ball. It's 30-mile-an-hour winds sustained at, with 60 or I think 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and it's going to be minus like 20 there. They're going to just keep running the damn ball. And if they don't, they're dumb. Beyond that, Dobbins is in the same type of situation. He's gotten the ball a ton of times, and they didn't really ease him back in. I mean, they kind of just gave him the rock and said, go for it. That game, 34.5, and it's Atlanta's run defense. I'm just going with Dobbins. Like, those are 2 really good running back matchups. And to be honest, with flex plays, I'd rather go with the running back, unless it's like Justin Jefferson, which you're not playing him in a flex. So Jonathan Smith says, I'm taking the under in the Saints game. No wide receivers and 2-degree weather. Actually, it's less. I think it's like minus 20 there. The weather is perfect underplay. Yeah, I mean, the under is already 32. So, yeah. The over-under is 32 for that game. It went down from opening. It went down 4. So, the weather is playing significantly in all the games. If you look at all the opening, stat lines for everybody, I mean, the Falcons-Ravens game went from 40 to 34. The Panthers game only went down 1. The Bills-Bears game went down from 43 to 40. Saints game went down to 36 to 32. All these games, the only game that went up is the Chiefs. So, I mean, it's one of those plays where, like I said, it's this weather will impact everywhere. So unless you are playing a team that is indoors, which, to be completely honest, I think there's only like 3 games that are indoors this week. We got the Broncos, Rams, Buccaneers, Cardinals, Chargers, Colts on Monday night, and the Vikings and Giants. Everybody else is outdoors. So literally, and this weather has literally affected everything from, hey man, I appreciate that. No problem, Warrior. That's what I'm here for. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But every game today, I mean, the biggest game affected is the Saints and the Browns. They are affected the highest. 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds, that's significant. That will impact the throw. I am one of those guys that I am all on board for the people that want to play Taysom Hill today. Play Taysom Hill. They're going to just keep everything underneath. They're going to run it with Kamara. They're going to run it with him. They're going to run it with Chubb. They're going to find ways to pass the ball short. Everything's going to be short today in that game. So Njoku, any deep ball threat is not even worth playing today. Juwan Johnson could be a good play in DFS plays or even in regular, other leagues as well. So just, keep in mind, this weather is no joke today. No joke. So be careful who you play. Warrior Love, I take it you still trust Diggs more than Hopkins. Unfortunately, I do. I mean, that game's going to be cold too. I mean, they're going to have. I think the winds are at 20 miles an hour there. Uh, I the difference in this is that his stat line is going to be a little bit different. But if I had to pick between Diggs and Hopkins, I have to stick with Diggs. Just even though the weather sucks, I, Josh Allen is a far better, superior quarterback than McSorley. I don't trust McSorley. I'm playing Tampa Bay's defense everywhere I can. So that's going to be the hard part. Jonathan Smith goes, yeah, all the QB yards props drop like 30 yards. Yeah, it's going to happen. The deep ball in that game is going to be like 10 yards. Yeah. That's going to be the tough thing, is trying to pick those stat lines. I don't know which way the wind's whipping there, and if it's north to south or if it's east to west or something like that, where the wind could help you. That's one thing. I'm curious. It's unfortunate that I got to watch just the Giants game today, but it's going to be interesting to see if the wind impacts the ball that much. So, Warriorloft goes, the target opportunity with Josh and Diggs varies week to week, especially if it's a blowout. Oh, I completely agree. That's the hardest part about this, is that the Hopkins game is indoors. So as much as I love Diggs in this match, or I like Diggs in this matchup, Bears are very good against the pass. They're going to have to find ways to maneuver, to get Diggs the ball. He's been underproducing the last 2-3 weeks because of the outdoor games and the elements. Even though Josh Allen can throw through wind, I'm not worried about Joe. I'm not worried about Josh throwing in the wind. It's the concept of, is it cold? It's very cold there. I think they're going to just run the ball. I think it's like 0 degrees there. They're pretty much going to run. My assumption is they're going to run the ball. I hope they do. I'm playing Singletary, but it's one of those things where I think that, that's part of the game plan. Run the damn ball and then, pass it when you get to the end zone. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Will, what's going on? Will Hayes, he goes, should I start Jerick McKinnon or DJ Moore? Jerick McKinnon until the walls fall off. I'm going to tell anybody listening and everyone out there that can hear my voice, please play Jerick McKinnon until you can't. The guy is he's the running back. Could be the wide receiver too. He is the running back 2 in the last 4 weeks. His usage is I made a post in I put up a post in our sleeper private chat. So for those who haven't, make sure you guys join our sleeper channel. It's a private sleeper channel, great group of guys, a lot of people in there. I posted stats and someone asked McKinnon or Zeke Elliott. I went McKinnon. And why? He's getting 60% of the snaps or more. I think it's 69% of the snaps compared to Pachenko. And on top of that, his stat line, I think he's had 5 touchdowns in the last 4 games or something like that, or 6 touchdowns in the last 4 games. So McKinnon he's been on fire. They've been leaning on him. And like I told you before, the stat line for this game is a 50 over under. Yeah, 50.5 over under. The Chiefs are favored by 10. Seattle is one of the worst run defenses in the league. Going McKinnon. Jonathan Smith says, so I take it I should play Dak over Watson. Yeah, I don't think you play Watson today. I would play Dak even against the Eagles. You're not going to have the greatest outcome, but I think they're just going to hand the ball off, RPO it the whole time. I'm surprised they don't just sit him this game and play Jacoby. That's what I would do. Smith goes, would you consider playing both Taysom and Njoku in DFS? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd rather play Taysom, but Taysom's expensive. Taysom is like, I think, 6,500. The tight end props are tough. I mean, I did tight end. Who did I do? I did either Hawkinson or TJ or Pat Freiermuth. I didn't want to spend 2 down, but I didn't want to spend 2 up. But we also, my my league that we do our DFS in goes until Monday night. So just a little afraid that Pachenko will get the bulk. No, he won't. If you look at the particular snap counts, I'll bring it up right. I'll look it up right now because I wanted to actually, you know what? It's in here. So stat lines for the last 3 weeks. Let me just give you a stat line of Pachenko and um McKinnon. Wow, I'm losing my thought process here. There we go. So for Pachenko and McKinnon, the last 3 weeks, 26 to 25 McKinnon. Then it went to 39-29 McKinnon, and then 48 to 27 McKinnon. Every time it went up the last 3 weeks. So I'm not worried about Pachenko eating into it. He hasn't been. He's only had a few games over that, that beat McKinnon. And in those times are different games. I just, for me, I prefer having McKinnon over anybody, and his price in DFS is insane. Warrior Loft, how do you like Slayton versus the Vikings? I love him today. DFS, I have him playing. I would have played him over Zay Jones if I had him in a league with Zay Jones. My brother had him. Unfortunately, I would have played Slayton over a lot of people today. Vikings are one of the worst on the outside, and Slayton is one of the best on the outside. I do have Slayton at like 26 right now, which it's low, but it's meant to be that way. He is high for that type of ranking. I think consensus is even lower. But I have him ranked at like 26th right now. Like I said, I would have played him over guys like Zay Jones. So Jonathan Smith goes, "Oh yeah, I benched Jones and Kirk this week for Slayton. So right now I'm happy." Yeah, you should be. I played Zay Jones, unfortunately, thinking I might have an opportunity. It looked good before game time. It wasn't. The weather didn't scare me that much, and he got like 5 targets and the 2 catches or 1 catch or whatever it was. It was disappointing to say the least, but I played Evan Ingram, so I'm happy I did that. Jonathan goes, right now I have Goff, Kamara, McKinnon, Amon-Ra, Slayton, McLaurin, Njoku, Brandon Ayuk, and since he's D, but I'm not sure if I'm set on that lineup. I don't blame you. It's not a bad lineup. I do like the Kamara and McKinnon with Slayton. I like that very much. I think Goff is hard to trust outside, even though it's going to be a decent day in Carolina. It won't be that bad. I have the option to play Saturday through Monday, so I haven't looked at just that slate. But what I would probably, what would I lean towards? If you can get, you could probably do Gardner Minshew and like Devontae Smith. I probably like Devontae Smith a little bit more than Amon-Ra or McLaurin for those particular one. I do like AJ Brown a lot too for that matchup. The Cowboys second, you want to focus on the Cowboys second defender to Trayvon Diggs. They have been giving up like I think it's 3 weeks of wide receiver 1 at least. So like numbers. So I'm targeting Devontae Smith anywhere I can. McLaurin, I don't like just because the 49ers are probably one of the better pass defensive teams and one of the better pass rushes. And, even the Giants were able to hold him to a steady game. So I'm looking for that. Brandon Cooks might not be a horrible play today. He's playing today. He's a little bit underpriced. I like Adam Thielen as well against the Giants. So for me, playing someone like that, instead of Ayuk, even though that matchup's a decent matchup. There's a lot of options you can play with. Warrior Loft goes, is Dobbs taking away from Christian Watson? I think he is. Dobbs to me is more of a possession receiver compared to Christian Watson. Um, it's very weird to think that too. But recently we've seen it. I mean, he just came back for one game, and you can tell the difference. Christian Watson has been taking the world by fire, by storm, and what was it, 7 touchdowns in 5 games or something like that. So it's understood. I'm trying to bring up stats real quick to kind of give you an idea. Okay. So I'm getting some early news. It doesn't really affect a lot of people, but I figure I'd bring it up. Patriots plan to sit Damian Harris today versus the Bengals either way, even if he is dressed. However, it's also told that he might still dress and be available in an emergency situation, still nursing a thigh injury. So just be aware of that. Even if he's active, doesn't mean he's going to play. They also said that Chase Young will be active today and might be on a snap count, but they could go over that. So just be aware. So for those who are big into weather like I am, make sure you guys check out the fantasy weather guys or fantasy football weather guys on Twitter. They just posted 2 minutes ago about the concept of many of the games will experience cold and windy conditions for this particular slate of games. The biggest concerning ones are Buffalo and Chicago. Temps are at 5 to 10, winds at 20-25, gusts at 30. And then the Saints game is the exact same temp, winds at 25 plus, and gusts up to 40. So that is hugely significant, and that's part of why I want the run game in all those. So, all right. So let me get you the numbers for Watson and Dobbs real quick. So Romeo only played 23 to Christian Watson's 62. So Watson's being heavily used in that particular offense. They do like him a lot. They see that he is able to contribute to that offense in one way or another. But at the end of the day, those, what was it? Oh, I just had it up. Where'd it go? So those 62 to 23 snap count led to, in this case, Dobbs being 5 for 5 for 55, Watson being 6 for 4 of 46 yards. They're comparable, but Dobbs was heavily targeted in that game. He was the second highest, just below Christian Watson. I mean, I think he's eating into it a little bit, but I don't think it's one of those things that, dynasty wise, he's a little more valuable. For fantasy, he's volatile. He's kind of like Gabe Davis, just a little bit more involved. So Jonathan goes, do you like Daniel Jones at all today? I do. If Matt Ryan can do well in certain situations, I'm only kidding, because Matt Ryan's actually a top tier quarterback in my opinion. Not as a fantasy quarterback, but as a real life, everyday, game managing quarterback. Do I think he can do well? Yeah, I think he can do well today. Warrior Loft goes, T. Higgins versus the Patriots or Diggs versus the Bears in the strong wins. I might lean T. Higgins here just because of the wins. I think they're comparable, to be honest. The Patriots are going to focus probably on the run and stopping Mixon, but those guys on the outside, Jones and Jones, are actually incredible on the outside. They did a really good job picking these guys in the draft. So I think they're going to both have really tough matchups regardless. So for me, I might lean Higgins just because better conditions. So even though I really like Diggs, I mean, come on now. Diggs is probably one of my favorite wide receivers. I even put I think I have Diggs slightly lower than I normally do. I think I'm at 4. Sorry, it is my computer is being mean. Well, the website is being mean to me. I have Diggs at 5 today. I mean, I do have Higgins at like 14, but that doesn't mean anything. Um, uh, you're giving me, I know that's a huge difference, but I'm always going to have Diggs up at the top in that tier. He's probably the bottom of that tier for me. So, like I said, I would probably play Higgins just because of if you're putting those two in the option, I'm probably playing Higgins, even though I think Diggs is looking to have a big game. The guy has been harping for the ball. He wants to do well. It could go either way. It's so hard to see. So Jonathan said, I just put McKinnon in for Connor, but Garrett Wilson kind of screwed me. So I kind of need a low end ceiling play. So do I go with Keenan James? Oh, Keenan, James, Connor, or Gabe Davis? I'm going to go Keenan Allen. I think James Conner should do fine, but I think that the Bucks defense, their defensive line compared to the Cardinals is substantially better. I know Villa is going to be out. Carl Nassib, I think, is going to be out as well. Doesn't really matter to me. I do think they have enough to keep everybody, standing upright in this particular sense. I think Keenan Allen has more of an opportunity. The indoor game versus the Colts, even if it swings one way, it will be fine. So I think I'm going to go Keenan Allen as the option. Gabe Davis, I can't trust in this particular weather. Jonathan Smith goes, it's crazy to see Ingram from his time with the G-Men to now putting up 50, 100-yard games. Hey, man, the system that Doug Peterson has and Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball, I like it. I said it at the beginning of the year. He was one of my guys that I really liked in general as a late round quarterback. So, yeah. So Matthew Berry just posted for those who care. I'm starting Kamara. I'm starting Chubb. If I'm desperate at tight end, I'd consider Taysom Hill, David Njoku, and Juwan Johnson in that order. But that's it. 32 over under. I'm sort of surprised it's that high. So yeah. That game's going to be something. I am playing Taysom in one league that I can afford to play him. It's the same league I played Evan Ingram in. So yeah, Trevor Lawrence is doing well, and it can only do better. I mean, they added Calvin Ridley for a discount, which was nice on their part. So next year they're going to have Christian Kirk, they're going to have Zay Jones, they're going to have Evan. Well, they could re-sign Evan. Evan's only on a 1-year prove-it deal, and I think he proved it. So I think that they're going to do what they can to get him back. So for me, you got ETN. They're going to be a dangerous team coming up. I mean, they're already trying to get into the playoffs. They're right on the edge. They just need a couple of things to fall right for them. They need Houston to lose. They need the Colts to lose. And they need the Titans to kind of lose too. So that game is kind of, they need Houston to beat the Titans today. But it's one of those things where you just kind of have to go with it. And I honestly, I think that they can do very well down the stretch. Their defense is young, they're hungry, and they want to win. And they've done a lot to make that team better. I really do like the Jaguars moving forward. Jonathan says, I need Henry to rush for 110 yards for some money. So let's hope he does that. He has the last few times, to be, completely honest. All right. So Texans veteran corner Steve Nelson, he looks like he will play today. Nothing crazy. They said Brandon Cook should play as well. That's Aaron Wilson, one of their beat writers, which is fantastic. So Perry goes pick 3, 1 running back, 2 flex. Got it. Stevenson, Walker, Mostert, Algier, Smith. I'm assuming that's Devontae, DJ Moore, or Osborne. So for this one, I'm going to go Stevenson and Mostert. Good matchups. I don't care which one you put and where. I do like Devontae Smith today against Dallas. If that is Devontae Smith. So those are my three. And especially if it's full PPR. I don't care about Minshew. I think Minshew is okay, so it is. Minshew to me is Minshew is a comparable backup to somebody like I don't know, like Case Keenum or anything like that. Like I think that he is more than capable of taking care of things when Hurts is out, and I think he'll throw the ball just as much and if not better. So I'm good with that. Jonathan Smith goes, what's crazy is the Jags might win the division and have a chance to win a playoff game too. I completely agree. I hope they do. I'm rooting for them. I do like the Jags a lot. Perry goes, Komet, Dolchich, or Otten. I'd probably lean Komet, and that's only because of the weather. I'm not a big fan of Dolchich. I don't care that Russell's back. It doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest. Playing the Rams. I mean, at least it's indoors. That's the only upside. Same with Otten, but I think Komet has higher upside. So for me, I'd probably go Komet, Dolch, and Otten in that order. So Warrior Loft, would you go Slayton over T. Higgins and Diggs? No. I love both, but I'm not going to play Slayton over those two. I love Slayton. I really do. This is a great matchup for him. But unfortunately, I can't trust that. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are significantly better quarterbacks, and I think they're in a better scenario. So Perry with his kicking things. We got Myers, McLaughlin, or Matt Gay. I think I'm going to go McLaughlin here. Or it's either McLaughlin or Gay. I don't think I can trust Myers in that weather. So I don't think you're going to go wrong with either or. I think McLaughlin has more 50-yarders this year. It's really just which team do you think can move the ball? If you think the Rams can move the ball at least to get it to the 30 against the Broncos, then go for that. But I don't think so. I think that the Colts have a better offense which is sad to say with Nick Foles in. But I would probably go McLaughlin. It gives you a Monday night too. Titans, Rams, or Browns defense. I might lean the Browns, and it's only because of the game, like the script that it's going to be. The over-under is 32. I mean, they can't really throw the ball. If they do, they're going to, quick throws. Everything's going to be underneath. I don't see this being a high-scoring game at all. So I'd probably lean the Browns, but to me, it would be Browns, Titans, Rams. Vikings versus Giants could be a shootout. I completely agree. I kind of hope it is. It should be fun to watch. I'm very excited. Brady on Ice. Welcome, man. Glad to have you here. So he asked for a flex position, full PPR, Waddle, Lamb, or Kamara. Or in his wording, Tamara. Nice. Full PPR for a flex. For me, I always lean the running back in this particular scenario. Just because I prefer going with a guarantee than a unsure. So for me, I'd rather have Kamara here. And that game, like I said, they're going to run the damn ball. At least they should. All right. Brady goes. Perry, go Browns. Yeah. Gonna root for them. Do you like Swift or Williams better for DFS with them having the same price? That's a good question. I mean, Williams, if it's half PPR, which if it's FanDuel, it usually is, I'd probably lean more towards Jamal just because he has more opportunity to get a touchdown than Swift would. Because if they get to the goal line, they lean on Williams more than they do Swift. And then it's based on what you think the game will be. In this case, they have the Lions at minus the Brown. Lions are favored by 2.5. So for me, I feel like they're going to be up, or they could be up, and it's going to be cold. I'm just going to go Jamal. It is what it is. I think Jamal. Brady on ice goes Kirk or Fields. These questions just make my soul hurt. So based on my rankings alone, I have Fields at 3 and I have Kirk at 7. The thing is that I do think Kirk Cousins can do well today in a dome. It is home. He does better at home, as we saw last week. I think Cousins is a better play as a ceiling play. I do think that Justin Fields has a better floor, and especially in the conditions that they're going to be playing in today. It's going to be windy. It's going to be gross. They're going to have to run the damn ball. So for me, it's one of those things where I like the upside with Kirk Cousins, but the rushing floor with Fields, the guy could have 180 yards on the ground rushing by himself. And they have nobody else. They really have no receivers. Ekman St. Brown's out. I think Byron Pringle's their number one option. I think they might have N'Keal Harry if memory serves me right. But even if they don't, they don't really have much behind them in depth at wide receiver. Cole Kmet's their best passing option. I'm assuming the Bills will shut that down as much as possible. I'm just going to lead Kirk just because of the matchup. Giants, I love my Giants. I'm a Giants fan by heart. And as it pains me to say, Giants have one of the weaker secondaries in the league just because we do not have Adoree Jackson or Robinson out there. So we are basically playing with third, fourth string guys on the outside, and that is not good for fantasy. Well, sorry, not good for the real life defense and not good for a lot of things. They do have a decent line. The Vikings, the O-line is actually pretty decent. Giants D-line is one of the better, which, you can say all you want about the Giants. But their D-line is probably one of the best in the league. So as long as Kirk can get it out quick, I think he'll be fine. So I'm going to lean on Kirk, unfortunately. I'm leaning on him in one league. So, oops, not Tamara. I knew who you meant. So we're getting closer to we're getting closer to actives and inactives. I'm going to bring you those as soon as they come at 11:30. Make sure you guys are checking out our other affiliate podcasts as well. The Check Down podcast with Cody McGoats and the guys. They were on last night, as well as I think they're on Wednesday night at 5:30 p.m. or sorry, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. It's still early, guys. Also check out Colin at WAGMI Fantasy as well. Check out his website and articles. He also has his own rankings and links to his audio podcast. Be sure to be signing up with the Winning with WAGMI newsletter. Also check out the Fantasy Frontline with Tim and AJ as well. Great group of guys. They've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but they will be back. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for them. Turn on your notifications. Make sure you guys also check out TrophySmack.com right up here in the corner. If you haven't already, we're at that time of year, guys. We're 2 weeks away where championships are won. And when you want a championship, you want something like a ring that you can customize. Come on, who doesn't want a trophy that you can customize and add to right here? Look at that. You can just add every year, just keep that thing in your league. You can roll like Kirk Cousins, wear a chain, customize it to be anything that you want. And then, of course, their bestseller, the belt. Make sure you guys check it out. They're made with some of the best materials out there, and they are high quality, trophies. So check them out as well. And of course, I already had Underdog up, but make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy, especially when you're out of the playoffs. You have a way to, do player props and things like that. Check out their Pick'em And also they do you can draft a DFS league and things like that. You can do all different types of stuff for this particular for Underdog Fantasy. Make sure if you guys don't have Underdog Fantasy, sign up and use the promo code Get Right. And when you do, they will match you up to 100%. So make sure you guys check out Get Right or UnderdogFantasy.com. Yeah, Jonathan saying Dexter going to the Pro Bowl. Yeah, I think he is probably one of the best going to the Pro Bowl. He deserves it. Probably one of the best interior defensive linemen out there. So really surprised Andrew Thomas didn't get in. He actually had a good season. So Brady on Ice goes, here's my lineup for the playoffs. Christian Kirk or Fields, probably Kirk. Running back will be Austin Eckler. Yeah, Austin Eckler, Ramondre Stevenson. Okay. Tyreek and Jamar Chase. Very nice. This must be a 8-team league. Then you have TJ Hawkinson as your tight end, flex being Kamara, kicker being Myers, defense 49ers. Got Waddle and Lamb on the bench. Hey, man, can't do any better than that. Brady on Ice, thank you so much. Just subbed. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today. Usually during the season, I'm here on Sundays. I'm also here on Fridays. We're also, we usually do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Unfortunately, like I said, like the last few weeks have been a little hectic with the holidays. We really do appreciate it. So make sure you spread the word to your friends and family. We will continue to be here, probably not as much as we were. We might do a, once a week type thing or twice a week after the playoffs, which are next week. So after next week, we might move to more of a just Sunday morning. I'll be here and help you guys out with any DFS things. Might only be on for like an hour, right around the actives and inactives, and kind of give you guys some, DFS plays for those who aren't in the playoffs anymore. Help you guys win some money on the side. So Jonathan Smith goes, him and Quentin Williams are my two favorite interior D linemen. And yeah, shocked both Thomas and Neal had great years. Neal, not as much. I wasn't that impressed. He's got a lot of building to do. It's one of those things where Andrew Thomas actually, I was very low on him in the beginning. Little disappointed in how in that pick until last year. But once I found out he's probably one of the highest rated or highest graded left tackles in the game. Guy's been doing fantastic. So little shocked about Andrew Thomas, but a lot of people don't. When people vote for these damn things, they don't look at everything, and it kind of annoys me because Austin Eckler didn't even get into the Pro Bowl. The guy is leading the league in receptions at running back, and he's about to break the running back receptions record this season. And no, you're not in. Bye. Christian McCaffrey, not in. Like, it makes no sense. They were putting out snubs, and they put, like, I think it was Kyle Pitts, and I went, first off, Kyle Pitts didn't play all year. He shouldn't be a snub. He should be literally just out of your equation. It is what it is. So Brady on Ice goes, Jalen Hurts being injured saved me because my opponent had him, and hopefully A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith don't do good either way for my playoff hopes. Good luck, man. I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, I completely understand that. I had situations like that as well in certain leagues, but at the end of the day, no one wishes for injury. But when it helps you, it's always nice. So, see, as much as I agree with you, it really is a popularity contest, and that's a shame. The Pro Bowl should not be a popularity contest. It should be solely based on it, like your particular, not your stat line. I guess your stat line, but it's more your stat plus a couple of other, variables that make it so that you get in. When you see a guy, I forgot who they picked instead of guys like Eckler, but like Nick Chubb. Okay, great. Yeah, he led the league in most situations in like rushing and all that, but he's nothing, he's not that special. Like Austin Eckler did very well this year in a lot of ways. He's running back 1 for fantasy. I mean, I might do my own fantasy Pro Bowl. Ooh, maybe I'll do that in the offseason. Fantasy Pro Bowl. And then we can snub some guys from that. I love when I come up with ideas on the air. Jace Horn got snubbed for Jair Alexander was the worst one for me. Okay. JC Horn is actually a very good corner, but I understand. See, this one I think is a little bit more understandable in ways. Jair is a excellent shutdown corner. If anything, Jace should be right behind him, but snubbed. I don't know if it's a snub to me. Austin Eckler being out of there is one thing. This is a little bit different. So Brady goes, yeah, hopefully he gets better for NFL playoffs, though. Yeah, of course. I don't want him in. I don't want him in the playoffs. I'm a Giants fan, so hopefully, I don't want that. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, no one wants to see that. They can lose a couple games, and I don't think they care. I mean, for today, the Eagles game, the Eagles versus Cowboys, Dallas is favored by 4.5. So I think Vegas sees that too. So John says, what do you think the Giants will do with Barkley and Jones next year? Oh, hurts my heart. It's a great question. It's really a good question. I do think that they're going to try to get rid of Kenny Galladay. I think he's the biggest headache that they have right now. Daniel Jones has done enough to prove, because if you really think about it, where we are currently in the standings, we're going to be probably in the 20s, which would mean that we're going to get one of the lower end QBs if we look to go that route. Would you rather pay a rookie, or would you rather draft a rookie at that spot and put him in starting over Daniel Jones? Or would you rather pay Daniel Jones a decent contract to keep him around? You could even give him a 1-year contract that's, a decent guarantee, or 2-year contract to keep him around. I think Daniel Jones needs a steady group of offensive coordinator and head coach. He hasn't had that in his career with the Giants. They changed up with Pat Schumer, and they changed all these different OCs with Jason Garrett and different guys. He needs a steady group with Mike Kafka and Brian Dable. Keep them together for as long as possible and build Jones. And the only way you can do that is with Barkley. And I think Barkley, they need to re-sign as well. I do like, getting rid of him is one thing. I mean, if you don't want to re-sign him, then who are you paying to come back? And that's my thing. I mean, the guys on the free agent market, guys like Damian Harris or Devin Singletary or guys like that, I would bring in. I like those guys, but I prefer having a stud elite guy like Barkley. Keep him around on the franchise tag, something like that. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a very tough scenario to figure out what they're going to do. I think like I said, the biggest thing is getting rid of Kenny Galladay, and that I think is going to be harder than it sounds, just because of his particular contract, his dead money cap, or his dead cap when and if he's cut and or traded, which no one's going to take his contract. I think is like, 14 million or something like that. He has a very high. I think he's very high if we let him go. So it's going to be a tough season, tough off season. But I do think I do like Sean a lot, or Joe Sean. I think he can do a lot to make this team the way it is. I think he did a great job all season with, going with the ebbs and flows with how things go. Blake Martinez, I was really upset when they let him go, but worked out in the end. They got a nice cheap option with Jalen Smith, and I do like Jalen Smith a lot. I actually liked him a lot in college. A little upset the Giants didn't draft him, but it worked out in the end. I think they're going to have to continue to build the line and build the outside of their defensive team. They're going to have to go a little bit stronger on the outside, on the corners, and build up the linebacking core. I do think that they have solid options. They're going to go wide receiver, of course. just because they do need wide receiver. So I think in free agency, they might dip into that pool. I do think Wan'Dale Robinson will do fine next season once he comes back from ACL. I think Shepard, unfortunately, retires. They might re-sign Slayton just because of what he did, but what he's doing now. But I do like what they've done. They took a good salary, good salary cap that was like horrible salary cap, and did what they could to fix it. So, who would have guessed the NFC quarterbacks though? Yeah. Jonathan goes, I love Jalen Smith as a biased Notre Dame fan. I'm glad he's doing well for you guys and not the Cowboys. Yeah, me too. Patrick Lario, what's up, Patrick? Missed you last week. He said, "Yo, Merry Christmas," and I heard in the back of my head, I heard that classic New York, New Jersey type accent in the background going, "Yo." So Merry Christmas to all those out there. It's Christmas Eve, so hope everyone is enjoying their Christmas Eve on this Saturday, December 24th. So hope everyone is doing well with their families, and hope everyone gets everything they are looking for Christmas. Patrick goes, I had a first round bye, so only questions are Devontae Smith or Zeke or Juwan Johnson or Bellinger. I really like Devontae Smith today. I know that the questions are, with Minshew and all that. I think Minshew is a comparable, or I keep saying comparable. I think he is a competent backup quarterback that can actually play well. I think he's probably one of the top 3 that I would want for my team, other than a few guys that are out there. Zeke is more guaranteed a touch in that particular game, but I do like that it's indoors for both. So I want to tell you Zeke, but it's like my head's telling you to say Zeke, but my heart is telling you to say Devontae. That's my thing. Juwan, I'd probably take over Bellinger regardless. Yeah, Harrison Smith's actually really good, and so is Eric Hendricks. So Patrick goes, who won the jersey? I've been away. So his name is Craig Schmucker. He is a very big thing out there. Check him out on Twitter. Make sure you guys give him a follow. He's a really good follow. On top of that, he is number 1. Well, he was number 1 in Scotty Fishbowl. So hopefully he has continued that trend. So we'll have to wait and see. Jonathan adding his 2 cents. Devontae Adams and Juwan Johnson. I have to, like I said, I'm leaning more that way. I think the higher ceiling is Devontae. The better floor is Zeke. So if you need the ceiling play, Devontae, and especially if it's full PPR, I would go with Devontae. Jonathan Smith goes, okay, I'm done second guessing myself because it always screws me. So my final lineup is Jones, Kamara, McKinnon, Slayton, Devontae Smith, Taysom Hill, Jamal Williams, and Cincy's defense. I like it. I like that. I like that whole thing. I play a Saturday through Monday. So we're doing the full slate of games up until Monday. So I have a little bit more room to play with. So I have a couple of guys in, the bigger games, like I have Justin Herbert and stuff like that in those games. So I'd rather have, Austin Eckler and all them in that. Derrick Henry's a great play today if you don't mind spending a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, he puts up 100 versus everyone, but I understand paying down. Kamara is probably the best option for the Saints in this particular case. But if you had to give me Saints, Kamara or Chubb, I'm going Chubb. Things like that. That's what I need to do because it feels too crowded for just a Saturday. Yeah, we do it because the group of guys that I play with have been from the beginning. They've all basically were like, yeah, I don't like picking from a very mitigated group. Like I don't like playing from just the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Let's just add everybody. So I recently just have made it where we're going to play everybody. So I'll play, in this case, Saturday and Sunday and Monday. usually it's just Sunday to Monday. So Jonathan Smith goes, might as well just play Henry by himself. Might win you some money. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I got to look at all my stuff. Like I said, I'm going to be ending this a tad earlier than I normally do, just so that I can spend a few minutes with the wife before we head out, and so that I can get ready. I'm going to be watching the games at my father's house, enjoying my little nephew watching the game. So, should be a fun Christmas Eve for me. Christmas Eve and football can't go wrong. Andy Holloway. So I'm just currently waiting. We got 3 minutes until actives and inactives. Once they come out, we will let you know. Please make sure you guys throw any of your questions in the chat. We will be here to answer your questions until 12 o'clock. So make sure you guys throw all of your questions in the chat, and I will answer them as we go along. As I said before, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody enjoys their particular weekend with their family and friends. Hope hope everyone's having a wonderful week. Sorry for all those, and prayers are for the families out in Minnesota that are dealing with, loved ones that were lost in the Mall of America. It's sad. So I really do hope everyone, hope everybody that was involved in that is doing okay. It stinks that it's this time of year. So, all right, back to fun things. I didn't get to really go through all my breakdowns. Doesn't really matter. I think all the questions that we wanted to ask are answered. When it comes to guys that are being out today, we already know of a few that are not going to be on the slate. Lamar Jackson will be out today. Tyler Lockett, Jalen Hurts, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave for the Saints are all going to be out today. Rashad Shaheen, as much as I like him this week, I don't think is going to be as viable today. Deebo Samuel, we know, is out. We know that Ekman St. Brown, Hayden Hurst, Devontae Parker, Ryan Tannehill will be out for the season. So just be aware. Jonathan Smith goes, final question for me. Do you like the Bucks or the Broncos? So I have these two exact defenses on my team right now. I'm playing the Bucks. I'm playing the Bucks today. I rather go against Trey McSorley and do that instead of going. I mean, Baker, same. But I rather go with Tampa Bay. Better defense, better scheme. They're still fighting to get in. The Denver game is really, no one cares in that game. So Jonathan going, thanks for all the help, Mike. Hope you have a great Christmas. Thanks, man, John. I really appreciate it. I hope you and yours have a wonderful holiday as well. Don't worry, we're still going to be here for another 20 minutes or so. We're going to get you guys through the actives and inactives. They should be rolling through any minute. Some of the guys that we're kind of waiting on and guys that are kind of on the fence in a way. One of them is Deontay Johnson. I have him in a league that I'm a little bit nervous about, but he should be good to go from what I keep seeing. All the beat writers and himself have even said that he should be good to go. So I am hoping he is good to go, but he's in the later slate. So make sure you guys have a backup if you don't already. If you're looking to play him, it's just you want to be 100% sure before playing somebody like that. Looks like some snow on the ground over, where is this? In Cleveland. So Cleveland's going to have a little bit of snow on the ground. All right. Getting actives and inactives rolling through. It looks like Marshawn Lattimore is out again. Marcus May, I'm surprised they haven't put him on IR. They're going to be out. So Saints will be without those guys today. Cam Britt, no one cares about them. Actives. Chris Evans will be inactive with Hayden Hurst for the Bengals. Lions will be without Deshaun Elliott, their safety. He's one of their better safeties. Craig Reynolds will be out as well. Austin Bryant That's a big hit for the Lions. Looks like John Johnson for the Browns will be active today. Looks like Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips for the Bills will be active today. That's significant for that Bills line. We already knew about Chris Olave. He will be inactive today. Peter Weiner will be out today. That's big for the Saints. So Saints are going to be a little beat up today. Fire up Nick Chubb everywhere. Chase Claypool, we already knew about. Cody Whitehair, their center. Trevon Diggs and Ekimus St. Brown are going to be out for the Bears today as well. So they're hit with a bunch of injuries. We already know that Ryan Tannehill will be inactive for the Titans today. The inactives for the Ravens and Falcons, we already know about Lamar Jackson. We know about, Kenyon Drake is a new one. So J.K. Dobbins, you're good to go. They're also going to have Calais Campbell inactive. They're also going to have David Ajabo. He will be out. Marcus Peters will be out today as well. Browns inactives. They're going to be without Demetric Felton. Javion Clowney will be out today as well. They're also going to be sitting Kalen Mond at quarterback, which means, nothing because Deshaun Watson should be fine. Looks like the field over at Kansas City looks okay. We're still waiting on word for, like I said, Damian Harris. He should be out today, or if he's active in an emergency capacity. Ken Walker, we're waiting to hear word on as well. And other guys like Brandon Cooks, Tyler Huntley. They haven't been, no one said that they're out yet. So we'll have to wait and see. Kenneth Walker, the only thing I'm nervous about is the fact that they brought up Wayne Gallman. So if Wayne Gallman plays, that means Kenny Walker will be out. Well, not out, but less used. So waiting on a final for a couple of people, and who's going to be in and who's going to be out. All right, looks like everything is kind of slowed down to a stop. Everything came in real quick. I guess everyone wanted to get their news out quick. I don't see anything about. Still waiting on word from a few teams that usually come out, and for Field Yates to post. Usually Field Yates is the sign that I know everything is done. But yeah. So all those that are watching, please make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat. I will be here until just about 12 o'clock, and then I will be wrapping things up. Like I said, we already ran through a whole bunch of actives and inactives. If you're unsure of anybody or you didn't hear a name that you wanted to hear, throw me a question or a comment in the chat. So make sure you guys do that. Also, make sure you guys check out our affiliate podcast with the Check Down Podcast with Cody McGoats and the crew. They go every Wednesday night, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, right here on Get Right Fantasy Network, as well as make sure you guys sub to their channel as well. Make sure you guys check out WAGMI Fantasy as well, WAGMIFantasy.com. They have great articles, great website, and rankings, as well as an audio podcast. Also, make sure you sign up for the Winning with WAGMI newsletter. Also, check them out on Twitter, one of the better groups of, I think Colin does a wonderful job over there at WAGMI. Also, we got Tim and AJ over at the Frontline podcast. Check them out on YouTube and make sure you subscribe. Everything, all the links are in the description below. So make sure you guys check out those guys. Also, as a little fun side, I'm going to tell everybody this time of year, one of the better groups or one of the better Twitter followers out there is the fantasy football weather guys. They are fantastic at giving you up-to-date weather and all the things that affect the games. They've already said a few times that games like the Cleveland game and the Cleveland game and the Chicago Bears game with the Bills, those are going to be significant weather events, so just be aware. All right, Seahawks inactives. It looks like they are not activating Wayne Gallman, so it looks like Kenneth Walker, Noah Fant, and Marquise Goodwin are all active today. Tyler Lockett will be inactive. Ryan Neal will be out as well. So it looks like Jordan Brooks is good to go for those who are in IDP leagues. So make sure you guys are aware of that. Adam Scheffler just reported that Sammy Watkins will be active for the Ravens. He's already been there. He knows the system. Ed Oliver, we already knew. Kenny Walker. DJ Dallas for the Seahawks. A lot of guys for the Seahawks active. We already know about Chase Claypool. It looks like I said, Kenyon Drake will be inactive for the Ravens, which is a good sign for J.K. Dobbins. Marshawn Lattimore and Marcus May for the Saints will both be out. That's a huge hit to their defense. So make sure you guys check them out. John Smith goes, I got your Giants at +4.5 today, Mike. So I'm hoping you don't allow any BS comebacks. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it is what it is. Oh my God. See, I'm all for, showing a sign of strength, but this is just a little silly. So I'm looking at some posts and stuff, and it looks like the Seahawks are warming up shirtless in Kansas City because they're in single digits right now. Hey, man, all for it. Luca Magic, what's going on, Luca? Glad to have you here. We have Walker or Pollard, half PPR. I think I'm going to lean Pollard just because I have a better feeling about him and he's healthy. I think Dallas is going to be up in this game. I think that, the Philly defense is going to be a little bit. Oh, wow. Interesting. So for those who care, or those who want to know, the Texans and Titans game is actually going to be delayed 1 hour. I'm not 100% sure on why. Why is that game going to be delayed an hour? Interesting. Well, I guess they're playing or something. Interesting. They might have got there late. I don't know. I've never seen that before. So that game is going to be delayed by an hour. The Titans and the Texans. That game will be delayed an hour. Interesting. Okay. To answer your question here, I think I'm going to go with Pollard. I think he's just been on fire. It's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to not play the hot hand here. I just feel like he is a better option overall. Oh, okay. I didn't know this. So, powder outages. Interesting. Okay, so they said that rollbacks are causing strains on the power user. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, that's why. Thank you for that, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Man in the chair over there. I like it. Walker and Pollard. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to go with Pollard here. I just think that Pollard has more opportunity for the touchdown. That's what you're looking for half PPR. In this case, I do think that Pollard has the upside with the passing game. Walker, I think, is going to be rotated in and out with Travis Homer and DJ Dallas. I think they're going to just keep rotating all three in this particular game. But Pollard and Zeke they're more 50-50 split. And I think that Pollard gets more out of his touches than someone like Walker. Kansas City is just going to focus on, doing what they can to stop anything from over the top. So, all right. So the Titans game got pushed back to 2:02. Giants and Inactives, nothing out of the ordinary. They are going to be down 2 guards. No one cares about that. Vikings Inactives don't have anybody outside the normal. They are going to be short their center, Bradbury, which is not a good thing for them. Other than that, they don't really have anyone significant out for the game here. So I think that's it for actives and inactives. Hopefully, Luca, that helps you. Like I said, I feel stronger about Pollard over Walker. I think I have Pollard at 11 and Walker at, where do I have Walker? I have Walker at 21 in my rankings. For those who want to check out our rankings are on our website at getrightff.com. So make sure you guys check out our website. me and Anthony will post our our rankings every week. So make sure you guys check those out. Like I said, I just feel better about Pollard. Just better scenario, better group. I don't, just think that it's worth the play today. So make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat. I will be here for like another 10, 15 minutes. So make sure you guys are throwing your questions in the chat. I will be here to answer anything that you guys have. Oh, Perry, with one more before you're out of here. Flex to Devontae Smith, Walker, Algier, or Mostert. I think I'm going to go with Devontae Smith and Mostert here. Yeah. Green Bay, not that great against the run. They're going to be in Miami. They play better at home. Walker, I just don't trust today. Algier, I might, but the total for me is tough. The over under for the Ravens Falcons game is 34.5. And for Mostert, that game is 50. So I want anything I can in that game. Even if Wilson plays, yes. And the only reason why I say that is because Wilson hasn't been eating into Mostert as much recently, and that's because of the injury. He is still injured. He's questionable. He practiced all week. He was limited. I don't think they're going to just run the ball the whole time against this defense. I hope they do. But even with him in, I think Mostert is a decent play. Walker is going to be in the same scenario. Algier, he's going to be going against the Ravens, who are actually decent against the run. I mean, I'm definitely going with Devontae Smith regardless in this particular equation. Mostert, I think, is just a better upside play. I think he has more upside for that offense. And the implied game total for this is 50. So even if it's, let's just say they have the Dolphins at 28 and, 29, and they have the Packers at 21. I mean, I'd rather have a piece of that than the other game, which is only 34. I think that's just defense back and forth. So that's why I'm just, throwing it out there. And I can even give you the snap counts from the last, hold on one sec. I don't want that. Let me just get you the snap counts, because I remember looking at them the other day and going, I don't mind Mostert. So for the last few weeks, I mean, like I said, I know that Jeff Wilson was out last week, which we already knew he was going to be out. Him being out, he's still, Wilson only got eight snaps that one game that he got hurt. He had 17 the one prior to that. And in that game, he wasn't hurt in the game that I don't think he was hurt in week 17, that he didn't play that often. But Mostert has been at 28, 37, 45. He's just been going up. So I feel more comfortable with Mostert. If he's at, in this particular case, 45 compared to, someone like Salvin Ahmed, who was in for 14, and Alec Ingold, who was at 32. I mean, he's leading the pack over there. And even with Wilson back, all that does is just kind of, I wouldn't say it levels things out, but it makes it where you'll see Raheem, probably for the first half, you'll probably see him for 4 series and Wilson for 2, something like that, if they can get 6 series out. So I don't know. I feel more confident with Mostert than I do with Walker or Algier. Walker, I just don't trust. I mean, that game's the only one. It would be between Walker and Mostert for me. I think Algier is out, or Algier. I can't trust him today. Saints game and the Miami game are both 50 or 50.5. So I'm good with either or, but I prefer Mostert just because of the offense. I think that Kansas City is going to be up in that game. Kansas City's favored by 10. So if you're going by that, it's going to be crap weather there. It's going to be cold. They're going to have to run the ball. So it makes sense that Walker would be an option. Walker has been coming in hurt. He's already going, he's already injured. I'd rather have a guy, regardless of what you have to say about Mostert, he's been healthy all season. I feel like Mostert is a better option in this particular scenario just because he has a higher upside and a higher ceiling. I think Walker has a lower floor, or I think he has a higher floor than Mostert, but I don't think it's high enough that I would trust. I think I'd rather have Mostert's ceiling, and his floor isn't crazy low either. So I don't know. I'm leaning on I'm leaning towards Mostert if you had to make me pick. Friend of mine asked Walker or Isaiah Pachenko, and I told him, like, I'm leaning Pachenko. So the Patriots just came out with their inactives, and it looks like Jack Jones, that's kind of big for them. Their corner is going to be out today. That's good for the Bengals. Looks like Damian Harris and Parker are going to be out. Jalen Mills is going to be out as well. Their safety. Interesting. So that's a significant hint to their defense. So Joe Burrow, good luck. I'm rooting for Joe Burrow today. All right. Just looking at any last minute things from guys that I I follow and all that stuff. All right, cool beans. So unless anyone has any other questions or things they want to talk about or anything that they want to put into the chat, please let me know. I'm going to be here for another minute. I'm just going to ramble off a few fun things, and if I don't see anything in the chat, I'm going to basically wrap it up. So, we got someone in. I'm going to butcher your name, and I'm really sorry. Please don't take offense to this. So, Kalagiri, I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to just call you Cal because I am going to butcher your name, and I really do apologize. Unless you're Smith, unless your name is John Smith, I'm going to pretty much ruin your name. So I don't want to do that. Cal, thank you for joining right at the end. I really do appreciate it. D-Hop or KJ Osborne, standard league. I'm going to go D-Hop. Going to go D-Hop. You can't, in some situations, there's no point in being cute. I understand that KJ Osborne had a monster game last week. He did very well in that particular scenario. I do think the Vikings have a better chance of keeping things tight. But DJ, I mean, D-Hop is far superior regardless of who's throwing him the ball. I do think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Trey McSorley. But I don't see KJ Osborne having one of those like huge games. I think Wick Martindale is smarter than that, and they're going to try to, contain Justin Jefferson as best they can, which is not easy. But they're going to do what they can. He goes, that hurts. I really need an upside. Yeah, I mean, to me, the upside is KJ Osborne. But I would never rank someone like DeAndre Hopkins over KJ Osborne, regardless of his particular scenario. Where do I have D-Hop? I have D-Hop lower than normal. I have him at 22. But someone like KJ Osborne, KJ Osborne's at 44 for me. So that's a significant difference in ranking. And it's not enough to change my mind to make him play him over that guy, so would I play Hopkins or Thielen? Probably Thielen, better upside. So someone like Thielen, I feel a little bit more comfortable with, Juju Smith-Schuster, Darius Slayton, Michael Pittman, like those guys in that particular grouping, I'd rather play. And it's more just because of the concept of the quarterback. I just don't trust. It's very hard to trust a guy like Trey McSorley especially if I'm playing playing guys like the Bucs defense over him. I think the Bucs have a really good chance to do well today. But unfortunately, I'm sorry to disappoint, but D-Hop, I have to lean on the upside. It's indoors, so you're not affected by anything. Both games are indoors, which is nice. So you don't have to really worry about weather in this particular case. So take weather out of the equation. which is a very small part. QBs, I like Kirk Cousins. I'm leaning more towards it in that case. But then if you go with talent and the situation, D Hop is number one. KJ Osborne is number three. I can't see myself playing a guy, regardless of who. I think in some ways they kind of equal out, but I can't see myself playing a guy, and especially they've had a full week to kind of understand what they need to do here. D Hop is just D Hop. You cannot go away from that. I just can't. I wouldn't be a good analyst telling you to play KJ Osborne. I'm sorry. KJ Osborne is a very talented third receiver, but he is not DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care who's throwing him the ball. Anytime, Cal. I really do appreciate you coming in. If you have any other questions, throw them in the chat. I'm going to be here for another 2 minutes or so. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show. Make sure you check out we have other affiliate podcasts as well. Make sure you check out the Check Down podcast every Wednesday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Make sure you check out Colin at WAGMI Fantasy. He has a weekly newsletter that he puts out, Winning with WAGMI. So make sure you check that out as well. And, of course, Tim and AJ at the Fantasy Frontline. Make sure you check out all these wonderful affiliates. Also, make sure, it's that time of year. Check out TrophySmack.com right up here. One of the best places to get your trophies for your league. You can customize rings, anything you want here. Make sure you check out their trophies. Of course, you can add to it, of course. Then you can look like Kirk Cousins right here wearing that chain. And, of course, their bestseller is the belt, all made from wonderful materials. Great product. So make sure you guys check them out if you haven't already. Make sure you use the promo code GETRIGHT at checkout, and they will help you out. They will help you out. Make sure you check out all the descriptions as well. Everything below. So Kyle goes, I will ask and go with your decision here. Flex options are KJ, D-Hop, Deontay Foreman, James Cook, Standard League, and I will likely need upside to win the matchup. Okay. See, this opens it up a little bit. So in a flex option in a standard league, you're looking for touchdown upside. Because at that point, you're not looking for the wide receiver because they are not guaranteed the target. They are not guaranteed the touch. They are not guaranteed anything because, once the ball's in the air, it's anybody's ball. Deontay Foreman and James Cook have a better upside in the context of who might be able to get into the end zone. So in this case, it's between Deontay Foreman and James Cook. And I think they're going to have to run the ball a ton in the Buffalo game. It's cold, it's windy, it's gross, short dump down passes. Should be getting yardage. He's been splitting carries, with Dalvin Cook. He had Devin Singletary recently. So for me, if it's standard, I mean, Panthers are facing the Lions. I just don't like that matchup. Lions have actually been secretly one of the better teams against the run lately. So for me, I think I'm going to lean James Cook. I think James Cook gives you a lot of upside in this particular case. Just because, like I said, he's a running back. He's more guaranteed a touch. He's splitting carries, which I think, if memory serves me, he's about 50-50 with Devin Singletary. Let me just double check for you so I'm not wrong. I like to have so it's about 47-28. So even with that, let's go percentages to make it a little easier to understand here. So right now, Devin Singletary gets 49%. James Cook gets 41%. So James Cook over D-Hop. This is a ballsy, but I will go with your take here. Yeah, I mean, it is ballsy. It's one of those scenarios where you have to kind of think about it. And I'll give you some other little tidbits here. And this could swing me to D-Hop just because I'm looking at the stats, I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at all the things. And I look at everything. If this is your first time watching, I literally will sit here, break it down with you for the whole time and make it where I have to kind of make a decision. Cardinals are going to go against the Bucks. The Bucks are favored by 8 indoors. This is a huge this is a huge league, and you might be my saver. Team is Fields, Amon-Ra, Mixon, Zeke, Schultz. You're such a good dude. Thanks, man. Of course, that's what I'm here for. But let me break it down because, to be honest, I'm on the fence about it, but I'm not like over the fence about it. Bills are favored by 8.5. The Buccaneers are favored by 8. Both scenarios are good for both players. That means negative game script for the Cardinals. They're going to have to throw the ball. It's going to be positive game script for the Bills. They have to run the ball. I think, like I said, 41% of the offense, or 41% of the snaps for James Cook is pretty much half and half. The last few weeks for James Cook, I mean, let's look at his numbers real quick. The last few weeks he was 5 for 34 and 2 of 3 for 5 and 1. So he had a touchdown in the last game against the Jets, which is a horrible matchup. He had a lot lower stat line. So I understand the volatility of that particular pick. Chicago has not been playing well against the run recently. His best game was against New England with 64 yards. The Detroit game, he had 2 touchdowns. Or no, where's the game? He had a game with 2 touchdowns recently. Where is that? Oh, that's the Jets game. Okay. Or no, not the Jets game. He had another game that did really well. And that's in standard too. I didn't even change that, which I didn't even think about. I don't know. I like Cook's scenario. I'd rather have the guy that is guaranteed the touch. McSorley might not get the ball out as much as you might want him to, and he might not get it to the guy that you're looking to get it to. DeAndre Hopkins, the last few games. So let's look at last week's game because Colt got hurt quick. So he had 11 targets for 60 yards. So if you're looking for 6 points from D-Hop, the week before that with Colt McCoy, who I feel is a good backup, was 7 for 11 for 79. So he'll get targeted. If this was PPR, this would be a completely different conversation. If this was PPR, I'd be telling you to go D-Hop and don't even think twice. But since this is a standard league, you're looking at 60 yards. That's it. 6 points. And they face Denver, who is one of the better passing defenses in the league. I mean, Tampa Bay is one of the better defenses in the league. They are short a couple players, but that doesn't, their backups are better than most starters. So, completely agree. That I've had a bunch of people ask me today about D-Hop, and it's a big question for me. And McSorley is he's a third quarterback on a team. It's not like he's like number 2, like McCoy or something like that. McCoy, I would trust a little bit more. They can find ways to get him the ball and, make it work. McSorley is just, if he sees pressure, he's out. he literally just takes off. So for me, I feel more confident in a guy like James Cook. He's been involved in the offense, things like that. So Cal goes, so let's make a league winning decision, bud. Like I said, I'm going to go with James Cook. I think it's a ballsy move. I think it's definitely something that most people would not expect from you. But I really do like it. I think you have good pieces, to kind of solidify it. Fields with the rushing upside, Devontae Smith and Ahmad, I think have really good matchups today. Mixon, I think, is in a good spot. Zeke, I think, will be fine. Schultz is okay. He's been underwhelming as of late. but he's still a good, he's still a solid option. I mean, tight end anywhere is going to be a crap option. So for me, yeah, good luck. Good luck to everybody today. I mean, I hope people are, oh, wait, whoa. Got Drunk Squidward walking in. What's going on? Yo, what's up? I'm starting to wrap this thing up there, Drunk. So if you have questions, throw them in now. I got things to do, people to see. Oh, it's Devontae Adams. Even better. Even better. Very cool. So you're in a good spot there, big guy. I like it. Dave Kluge. I like him a lot. Goes Taysom Hill's the only man on the planet whose package gets bigger with the temperature drops. He makes me laugh. He's a great follow for those who don't. Make sure you guys check that out. Well done. Well done. Oh, man. Wow. Everyone is just bundled up today. Man, you guys should see the field over at Cleveland. Cleveland, it's they're basically right now running around with the leaf blower and all that. Wow. All right. Of course, there, Cal. That's what we're here for. Make sure you subscribe and like the show. We are here up until I pretty much go until the end of the season. I'll be here every Sunday just to kind of give you guys some DFS plays as well. So check us out. And we're very big in the off season, especially when it comes to mock drafts. So check us out. Check out all of our videos and shows that we've done in the past. We've had some good guests. We've had Dave Kluge. We've had Kyle Letterman, who's one of my favorites. We got Howard Bender. We had him on a few weeks ago. We're looking to get more. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to the show. You can reach out to us. My Twitter handle is right below right here. You can follow me on Twitter as well. So make sure you guys check us out. Drunk Squidward, quicker question. As always, I like it, Drunk Squidward. Right now, I might want to lean Jason Sanders. Better conditions. It's going to be in the 30s compared to being in the the single digits over in Kansas City. Excuse me. It's not as windy in Kansas City. It's just cold. And when you kick that thing in the cold, no bueno. I'd rather have a guy indoors today if you're going to grab a kicker. Browns or Saints. Browns or Vikings. I'm sorry. I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to be my homer, and I'm going to go with the Browns. Like, I'm not going to go against my Giants today, even though I think that it's a decent matchup. It's indoors. But the Cleveland game, they're going to be outside. It's going to be negative something. Everything is going to be, they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to just have to stop the run. They can't really stop the pass. So I like it. Hey, it's Tony Clark. Just got back. Good luck today. Vikings, 25K to win. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I hope you get your money, but at the end of the day, I don't want. See, it's one of those scenarios where I hope you win because 25K is a lot to bet on a team, but I really don't want you to because that's crazy. You know how I feel about that. Drunk Squidward goes Zeke or McKinnon. I've been telling everybody all week. Jerick McKinnon has been leading. He is running back 2 after the last 4 weeks. Zeke is in a decent matchup, but I like McKinnon more. I'm going to tell you to play McKinnon over and over and over again until something happens. He's been leading the Chiefs in offensive snaps. He's been leading the team in touches. I'm going that. It's okay. You're allowed to pick on my Giants. That's fine. And no, he was ruled out like 2 days ago. So Olave is out. Olave is not playing today. Saints will not have Olave, Jarvis Landry, Marshawn Lattimore, and Marcus May. So their defense is beat up. Their offense is beat up. Today is a Kamara, Taysom Hill, run the damn ball. and maybe Juwan Johnson for short passes to the outside, but it's going to be whipping over there. It's 25-mile-an-hour winds, 30-plus-mile-an-hour gust with snow on the ground and minus 20. So all those factors, I'm leaning mostly Cleveland, but if you're going to go with anyone from the Saints, it's got to be that. The over-under for this particular game is 32, and it should be lower. It went down from 36 to 32. So, oh, dude, he is probably one of my favorite football players out there right now. Like, my favorite tight end is George Kittle, and it's because I love the guy. I love the player. But my favorite, one of my favorite players to watch is Taysom Hill. He's just a football player. The guy doesn't give a fuck. He'll run your ass over, and he's a quarterback. I love that. I love Taysom Hill. I think he's a great addition. I wish teams were a little bit higher on him. I think he's a better. I said this, I think, last year, where I like Taysom a little more than I like Lamar, and in the concept of what they do. I think Taysom is a better pocket passer when he needs to be, but he's definitely one of those that can just run it. But unfortunately, he didn't get the opportunity that he should have. Andy Dalton Andy Dalton's a better passing quarterback, but as a player, an overall player, Taysom outweighs everybody. So love Taysom Hill. All right, boys and girls, we're going to wrap this up. I got places to be, people to see. It is a wonderful, I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas Eve. I hope everyone enjoys this full slate of football. Also, make sure you guys enjoy your time with your family as well. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, everything. Happy holidays, happy wonderful season of, this wonderful time of year. So Tony goes, Geno Smith, is he worth starting over Daniel Jones? I do like both. But I think Geno might be the better play today. So I'm going to lean Geno. Yes. Happy Festivus. That was yesterday. So yeah, make sure you guys have a wonderful, happy everything. We will be back, hopefully tomorrow or Monday. If not Monday, we will be back. I will definitely be here for whatever they do for next week. I got to look at the schedule to see what they're doing, if they're playing all the games on Saturday or on Sunday or whatever. If anything, we'll be back here on Saturday or on Sunday. We'll see how that goes. A lot of things going on in all of our lives. So just be patient. We will be here to help you out. That's why we're here. So make sure you guys check us out. Make sure you check out all of our affiliates. As I said before, make sure you check out the Check Down podcast, Winning with WAGMI, of course, and the Fantasy Frontline. So check everybody out right there. Hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. Good luck. I hope everyone gets the win that they're looking for. Hopefully Santa brings that to you. And yeah, good luck to everyone, unless you're facing me. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Merry Christmas.